don't forget to like and subscribe.
Hello there. All right, the movie Shivaay. At some point in time, give me a year, I'll start learning the actors' names. So the lead actor, he basically also was the lead director, the sole director for this film. This movie had such potential. Like, let's say that it really would have been good. It really missed the mark. So the movie starts out with him, climbing the Himalayas. That's where he lives. That's his home. And he's basically a tour guide that guides people. The love story they forced really doesn't feel like it has a place there. That is where it immediately threw me out, because there was just this. It's like they literally got the first white woman who spoke whatever language originally and Hindi. It was like, oh, you could speak Hindi, rather, okay, let's get you and cast you. There was no connection there. It felt off. It felt stilted. It just didn't feel like there was any real attachment, not even friendship. It didn't even feel like friendship. It just felt like they were strangers in a room together. And trying to make it a love story just didn't work. It just felt so off. And then from then on, they introduced, so he gets her pregnant, he begs her for the child, she gives him the child and abandons the child. And then it aggravated me, because it's like they just found a white girl, and apparently she didn't speak Hindi, so it was like, let's just make her mute and make her make a lot of noises. It was just like, please just teach her to sign. I understand you're on top of the mountains, the Himalayas. I'm pretty sure that they would come up with their own language, him and his daughter, to communicate with each other. She doesn't need to whine and moan and just break my eardrums because of that. I mean, the movie seemed like it would have been so much better if they would have just made it like, I'm not a big fan of John Wick, but John Wick did one thing good. They did the death of his wife immediate, and the loss of his dog within the first 5 minutes of the film, 5 to 10 minutes of the film. Here, we're drawn out with this lack of attachment, because I don't want to say it was the director's fault. I'm pretty sure it was just the casting. They just got a random white chick, and there is a difference when you cast for different mediums. Like in Hollywood, people have to act a certain way in order to be registered with like American actors. Just like in India, they act a certain way for it to be seen as real acting. And it goes like that with every cinema, because certain things are different per cultures, per societies. Certain things are said and done that aren't acceptable or seen as normal in other. So there have to be ways that things are done. And it just felt so off from the beginning that finally, when he started doing action scenes, it was like, finally it's getting somewhere, but I had already lost interest in his daughter being kidnapped. I had lost interest because a mother abandoning her child. I mean, how can you... that doesn't work with me. It doesn't make any sense. The whole abandonment thing. And then I try to bring the mother back later on, and she blames Shivaay for it. It's just... It made me upset and angry. It was just like, how is this his fault? Okay, there was one redeeming factor in this movie. There was one dude that I absolutely loved as a character. They introduce him hitting on a girl, and she calls security and has him thrown out. He knows the security's name, because this isn't the first time that has happened. He's a complete nerd. He's like a hacker type. And it's like, this is someone who's devoted. This is someone who will constantly go back to try and win her over. And then, of course, she's the ruin of him. She leads him to go to prison because he's doing anything for her. And I absolutely enjoyed his character. He was the only redeeming factor of the entire film, because he actually had heart. Because it seemed like, now that's a true Indian love story right there, because there's always like one person who's kind of on the fence as one is all committed, and then it kind of turns around later on, or it's the love at first sight on both parties. But that one was I just absolutely loved that, because I was just like, okay, now this is the type of casting I wanted. If they had this kind of relationship in the beginning, I would have actually preferred it more, and the daughter would have I would have accepted the daughter a little more. Like maybe have it something's or her mother's sick, or her sister is ill and she needs to go home to take care of them. Don't make it, oh, I want to continue my career and I don't want to be stuck here forever. That's just a selfish. No one can relate to a selfish character, or, well, most people are selfish, but no one wants to relate to a selfish character. Let's just say it that way, because the action did pick up, but it took forever for me to forget about how much I hated the other characters. It took a while, and then at the very end, the ending was, I don't know what they're trying to tell me at the end. Is the daughter abandoning him because the mother can pay for more? What's going on here? I absolutely hated that. I would think the daughter would want to have nothing to do with her mother, because the mother can obviously afford to spend every waking moment with her daughter. She has the money, she has the income, but she chose to leave her in the Himalayas with her father. It just, with not even thinking twice about it. So it's just like, I was so confused. I'm still confused as to why that chose to end that way. I mean, yeah. The movie, it takes a while for the action to pick up. I really think they should have just edited out a ton of the beginning portion. It would be much better. Like, it should have been edited like a Hollywood film, where it's only like an hour and 10 minutes long. Because a lot of that fluff that was there wasn't good. And in most other Indian cinemas, films, they are, it's there because it's funny. It's there because it serves a purpose. It's there because the characters are enjoyable to watch. Here, I was stuck with Shivaay, who I enjoyed, and then a woman he loved who obviously didn't have any attachment to him whatsoever. Yeah, but that's just Shivaay. I didn't care for it. I wish they could have just done better editing, different casting, because the story was good. The story was solid. If it just didn't miss the mark with the casting, if it was just done a different way, yeah. Shivaay, if you enjoyed it, please let me know. Let me know what I missed. I tend to have something stuck in my head, especially if it happens in the beginning of the film, where something bothers me, and then it just snowballs and grows and grows and grows. If it doesn't get stopped in its tracks by giving me something that'll actually make me enjoy it, it'll just continue to bother me throughout the film. And it did, because it took about an hour for it to finally get somewhere. Thank you all for watching. Talk to you next time. Doodles!